Preacher Shelley here, and I'm sitting out in my backyard with my Bible and my calculator. I used to be a high school math teacher, and I love pondering infinity. And I got to thinking last night about how important it is for us as Christians to always consider the brevity or the shortness of this life. For two reasons. Number one, for comfort. This life is difficult and painful, and we need to always remember that eternity in heaven lasts forever. And secondly, for conviction. It's important to keep in perspective that what we do in this life builds God's kingdom and takes other souls to heaven, because heaven and hell last forever. So to put it in perspective, I started calculating some numbers. So let me share with you what I came up with. If you assume there's a Christian who lives a long life on this earth of 90 years, then in order for that Christian to count out their number of earthly years of existence at a regular pace, 1, 2, 3, it would take them about 1.5 minutes to count out their earthly years of existence. But we know that once that Christian dies, they go to heaven. So let's put them at year 500. That means 90 of their years were lived on earth, but 410 in heaven. So at year 500, it would take that same person almost 7 minutes to count out their heavenly existence compared to the 1.5 minutes to count out how long they lived on earth. But let's move forward to 1,000 years. At year 1,000, it would take that person 15 minutes to count out their number of heavenly years compared to 1.5 minutes of their earthly years. But we know that heaven just isn't 1,000 years. So if we fast forward to 1,000,000, it's now going to take them 11.5 days to count out the number of years of their heavenly existence. At 1,000,000,000 years in heaven, it would take them 32 years to count out the number of years of heavenly existence compared to the 1.5 minutes of earthly years. Then, at 1,000,000,000,000 years in heaven, it would take that person 31,710 years to count out their heavenly existence in years compared to 1.5 minutes of counting their earthly existence. 32 millennia they would have to count to equate their heavenly existence compared to 1.5 minutes of counting for their earthly existence. I think that puts it into perspective, and that's just at 1,000,000,000 years. But heaven is longer than 1,000,000,000 years, because heaven lasts infinity years, if you will, which means there's absolutely no end.